something that is very non-negotiable. No one's living life for the second time or the seventh time. Everyone on this earth is living life for the very first time. Whatever I have learned by reading books or talking to people. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel and thank you so much for coming back. So today we will discuss another area of my mind and my take on what are some things that I think should be taught in schools, which I think actually is not taught. As a person who thinks about her future often, not in a bad way, but in a good way, as a planning way. And if I ever have kids, I'm damn sure that I don't want to send my kids to school and I want them to be homeschooled. See, half of our life, not half, I think quarter of our life we spend in schools and we learn all about algebra, grammar, history. But why are we not taught about the basic things that are needed to be learned to lead life? In real life scenarios, you cannot use history. In real life scenarios, you cannot use algebra. Not that I'm saying I'm against any of these subjects might be beneficial on their own area or on their own sector, but there are some things which are more important than teaching kids about these things, right? Yes, basics of everything is good. Basics of maths, economics, basics of social science is good to learn because that's how you learn the normal things. But there are way more things that I think should be taught in schools. So we will discuss on what I think should be taught in schools, and if these things are taught in schools, then I might change the idea of homeschooling my kids if I ever have any. If I have a good partner, I will definitely have kids. If I don't have a good partner, I can't rely on my partner, I will put a full stop. So that's some personal take, a very huge personal take, but I'm just putting it out there. So the things I think should be taught in school, number one is something that is very non-negotiable, and I think it should be indispensable. It should not be something extracurricular. In every single school or every single person should know this. That is self-defense. As I'm growing up, as I'm getting to know society and the darker side of world, which is not very well known because they keep it under the wraps, the darkest part or the darkest side or the evil side of the world, I think every single person, every single kid, every single student should know how to defend themselves. And they should be taught techniques. They should be taught the self-defense disciplines from the very young age, so they are stuck to it. Like they do have the knowledge on where and why to use the self-defense. Okay, I think everyone should be taught that self defense should only be used when you're defending yourself or someone else who's incapable of doing it. Because there are certain scenarios where you cannot protect yourself without having any technique of self defense. And it's not only about girls. I could have said that women and girls should know about it. No. Men, see, the fact that I don't understand nowadays is why men don't fight. The masculinity, because the energy and the physical strength they carry to fight is physiologically, you cannot compare a woman and a man. Of course, women will have their own strengths, men have their own strengths, but I when I choose my partner, I want my partner to know how to fight. Do I know it? No. Am I on my way on learning it? Yes. But I want my partner to know how to fight so that in case we are stuck at a situation where we have to defend ourselves, we can. Okay. I don't want him to be huge in fighting world. I don't want him to be a boxer or anything, but just normal self-defense. Just so you are confident enough to walk in the crowd. So the other day I was listening to this podcast where a person, I don't remember the name, but it's not my take, okay, where the person said before he learned self-defense, he used to be in fear. He used to like live in fear that someone could attack, okay, someone could do this, and he had a feeling that he couldn't do anything. But then he said, when I learned it, when I knew how to protect myself and attack the attacker, I had so much confidence that if I had to knock someone out, I could. But it's my choice and choosing not to. You know, okay, I just diverted from the topic, but I think every student should know how to defend themselves, and it should be taught from a very young age. I see parents, they have put their kids in like martial arts and self-defense classes of different sorts, but it's like after the school hours. It's something extracurricular, it's not something which is indispensable. It should be necessary. Self defense should be absolutely necessary for every single person in the world. Who in my family knows self defense? I think my dad does, because he was in army for like 20 years. So he knows how to protect himself. But do we all know? No. Was I taught how to defend myself when I was in school? No. How did I came with the realization that everyone should know how to defend themselves? By looking at the world, I mean the things that are going around. Not only women, boys. Boys are boys are in danger too. So everyone should know how to self-defense. I don't care anything else. This is a non-negotiable for me. I want to put my kids in self-defense. There are these reels where like, oh, if I have a boy and I'm gonna train him like that. Not only boy, I want my girl to beat the shit out of someone else. Anyways, it's something that's in future and no one has seen future, but self-defense non-negotiable, should be indispensable. And that's my take. Number two, second most important thing, kids should be taught about money, taxes, owning a business, and about economy. Yes, we do get like economy subjects, but it's not economics, the macroeconomics, microeconomics, but it's not something necessary. I think some people like economics and they take it, some people don't like economics and they don't take it. That's something which is not actually helping, because I remember in my 12th grade I took micro and macroeconomics, and I can't use it right now. Yes, in broader sense I can, but that was just the basics. In broader sense I can, but do I know how to own a business? Maybe. How? By reading books beside school. It's not, I was not taught in school how to own a business or how to save on taxes or something like that. And believe me when I say, there are so many legal ways to save on your taxes which the general public does not know, and it's legal. Legally you can save on your taxes. It's nothing illegal. When you have a business, you put the expenses. That's a whole different concept. You can learn it in the books you read. But what I think is, kids should be taught about money, the psychology of money. When they get their pay, how can they reduce their liabilities? How can they increase their assets? The most practical ways, not the bookish terms. Not the bookish terms. Most people say they like street smarts, not book smarts. What if we turn school into street smarts? What if we take the real life scenarios and tell them this happens, and tell them like average, how to lead an average life? Life could be so much different for people, because as soon as you step out of school or college and you step into a real life, you don't know shit about what's happening. You don't know how to save on taxes, you don't know how to file your own taxes, you don't know about the psychology of money, you don't know how to own a business, you don't know how to start a business. Very good thing that we have like social media nowadays and we can learn anything we want to, but these things are not taught in schools, and it should be taught in schools, so that by the time a student is ready to step into the real world, they sort of have some experience. Not the real life experience, but some bookish experience on how to deal with stuff. Wow. Yeah. Third thing that is important to me is spiritualism. And I don't mean spiritualism as in kids should be taught about religions and religious spaces, because there'll be a huge debate. See, because there are like 30 kids in a class, and everyone belong to a different religion and different beliefs. So if you start teaching about religion, it's going to be very contradicting. Parents will come at you, why did you say these things and all that. So what I mean by spiritualism is the vast spiritualism, the energies. Like we tell our kids to be kind to people. When they ask why, at least we can explain that this is the energy you give out and that's how you burn. Like teaching them in energy language, tell them God is not a person, and God cannot be described through a gender, he's energy. Telling them that we are energies too, just living in a human body. Yes, kids might not understand it, but I think if they are taught from young, and if the same principles and the studies are teaching in their home, they'll grab onto the concept and the world will be so much magical for them because they understood a language which me, as a 20, like in mid 20s, are trying to understand and learning to talk about it. How did I know no how did I not know about energies? Because we were never taught that way. How do I know it now? Because books. Books is a for me, whatever I have learned by reading books or talking to people. So books, why aren't we not taught about energies in school? Why do we not say you have to be kind? Because when you are kind, you radiate a very good energy that you give, and that's the energy that you can get back. Why don't we tell that to kids? Why don't we tell kids that it's not the religion, it's the spiritualism you should follow? Because if I talk about, you know I don't want to say this, but not even many countries, I can just share my take on my country, and they are fighting over religion. There's a religion war. What if we just erase the concept of religion? Just respect your religion, we'll respect our, because the ultimate end is spiritualism. Ultimate end is that one God that created you, which is just energy. Will you see the shift in kids' mind? Because they have been taught from the starting that, oh, it's not just the religion, it's spiritualism. The end goal is the same. I'm not scolding anyone. I'm not frustrated too. I'm just went into the mode. But yeah. And one of the main reason I don't want to send my kids to school is, as I'm understanding energies and how important they are in our life, I'm also getting to know that people radiate different energies and you cannot control it. And as kids, as your kids, they don't know what energies are. So when you send your kid to school or nanny share or daycare even, you don't know what kind of energy the other person is radiating and your kid is consuming. They will radiate a kind of energy which would not go with what you think should be taught to your kids. Sometimes a teacher fights at home and they bring the same energy to the place where your child is, and your child is consuming the same energy. It's not on scolding or anything. Yes, you can scold, but I think when I will scold my kid, or I would sort of try to explain them why the mistake happened, it'll come from a place of love. And not everyone's scolding comes from a place of love. So this is the one main reason that I don't want my kids to go into school. In today's economy, it might seem hard, but nothing is hard, nothing is impossible. By the time I have kids, I'll be financially free to raise them independently. Like, not independently as in a single mom, no. I do want to have a good partner with whom I will have kids, as in not worrying about finances. Okay, so third, I think, was it third or second? Anyways, whatever the point. Next, I think kids should be taught about cooking skills and home sensing, so that it also, it's weird actually, because everything, what they say, that parents are the first teachers of kid. But I think schools and teachers play a really huge role on how a kid turns out to be. Now, in many cultures, and on average in 95% of the population, we see that the roles in the household have been divided by the gender of the person. Like a female will work in the kitchen, a guy will get all the work done on the car and mow the lawn, or what do we say, take the garbage out. But I think it should not be based on genders what should be described. Both the genders should know the basic necessities of life: cooking, organizing the home, cleaning the home, having the urge to be in a clean place. Okay? Both the genders should sort of have an idea that it's not the gender based roles, it's what everyone should do. No, everyone should. It's so simple, it's so simple. I am just so, stumped on the idea that this is something you have to explain to this generation or to people. I mean, even a guy cannot survive without food, so he should know how to cook. Okay, a girl cannot survive a car, so she should know how to get stuff done. But when you're in family, you distribute things just to manage it easily. But at the end of the day, it should be like everyone should know what they are doing, and they know how to do things, how to get the things done. This should be in every school: cooking and home sensing. I also want, I can include many, many, many things. I can include so many things, like how to regulate your emotions, how to let yourself cry, which I am very bad at, because I only cry in front of one person, and if that person is not there, I don't cry in front of anyone, not everyone, anyone. I am afraid of showing my vulnerable side to the world. But that's what I'm bad at least I'm acknowledging it. If I would have been taught in school that you will face failures, you will be disappointed in people, you will have uh, or you will make mistakes. One of the idea that I think I will teach my kids at a very young age is not linking their mistake to guilt or fear. The mistake should always be linked to lessons, because from a very young age, we all of us all of us we have been taught to link our mistakes to regret, to the fear of failure, and to actually, because when we link our mistakes to regret, we go into depressing stage of everything. But you have to start. I got over this idea, or I got over this learning. I unlearned this like last year when I started linking my mistake to my lessons, because we all make mistakes. This is who we are. No one's living life for the second time or the seventh time. Everyone on this earth is living life for the very first time, and they will make mistakes until or unless you are a very saintly person who reached at the enlightenment stage, and you know the ultimate truth. But an average person does not know it. So I think linking your mistakes to lessons would greatly help everyone, even the kids. If I knew it from the very first moment, or from like my school time or studying time, it would have been so much easier to get over lessons that I've had to had. Because for a long time, when you cause a mistake, when you realize that it was a mistake, you go into a state, it was all me. It was all me. I'm a mistake. That's where all the negative aspects of things come in. But when you know that it was like, it's just a lesson and it's just a mistake, you have sympathy and empathy for yourself, which is so much greater to know in today's world, in order to learn self love, in order to learn setting boundaries. I think I would end the video right here, because there is so much more I can go on and on, like basic manners, etiquettes, how to talk to someone, and everything. But this is it. This is something, these are some of the things that I really, really want schools to adapt. And I hope in future we do get the change in the school system. I hope, fingers crossed. And I think I used and many times, which I should not have had. But thank you so much for sticking till the end. We'll come back with another video next weekend, and I'll see you then.